Welcome, everybody, to the morally ambiguous characters tier list. I'm Kaznaris. With me is the Pork Chopper.
Hello.
And Sliv.
Oh, hi.
And Ren.
Howdy, howdy.
We've brought you today a bunch of villains that may or may not have a point in what they were trying to accomplish here. And we're here to talk about them and rank them on our little tier list from, yeah, nah, you suck, to I can kind of see what you were thinking, but you're still bad, to moral ambiguity equilibrium, which is not a mouthful at all, more right than wrong, and lastly, you're actually the good guy. We have 20 characters, 5 each, and we will start with Hans Gruber. Sliv, I believe this is yours.
Yeah, he is. Well, this is Hans Gruber from hit Christmas movie Die Hard, and he is a terrorist. Not that there's anything.
Wow.
All right.
Well, that's a really good opinion,
yeah.
Kaz. Like, actually, though, Hans did
What the fuck?
Hans did nothing wrong. He just went in, took over the Nakatomi Plaza, and really needed those bearer bonds so he could fund his little terrorist organization. Because, you know, fuck capitalism. Am I right, boys?
But, like, what was he looking to accomplish?
Yeah, he also killed a fuck ton of people.
Yeah,
killed a
he
bunch of
did
people.
kill a fuck ton. No, he didn't kill a fuck ton of people. He killed like a guy in the movie. Like, well, it's ambiguous that he probably killed more people in the past, but like,
I mean, he also
the
was,
past
like,
is behind us.
He
Am
was
I right?
also holding the whole building hostage.
He was, but all he was doing was holding them hostage on a Christmas holiday, so he could just get the money from the safe.
So what you're saying is he ruined Christmas.
Who gives a fuck about Christmas if I have money? Am I right?
What is his end goal? What is he using the money for?
To fund his terrorist
To
organization.
do what?
Yeah, what is the
What
organization
is
trying
the
to
goal of the
accomplish?
terrorist organization?
To fuck capitalism. That's the whole point of his terrorist organization, is like he hates capitalism and like money.
But I feel like there's other ways you can get there, you know?
Oh yeah, you could rob a bank, but like bearer bonds are worth a lot, boys. You know how much money was in those bearer bonds in the Nakatomi Plaza?
You know how
A
much
fucking
money,
lot.
You know how much money's in a fucking bank?
Yes. Less than 100,000. Certainly less than 100,000 because his fucking brother went to go break into the fucking gold reserves in the fucking third movie.
Yeah.
So bearer bonds was a pretty smart idea compared to a bank. And fuck the establishment.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna need a little bit more than fuck the establishment myself.
He didn't do anything wrong other than hold up
Okay,
people's
all right.
Christmas holiday.
Okay,
And who
so
gives a fuck about that?
Here's the issue. Holding people hostage isn't a very good thing.
I'm holding this recording hostage right now. Eat my ass.
I'm tempted for yeah, nah, you suck. But what is the group thinking?
I mean,
Uh,
he capitalism does kind of suck. That is the only point he has. So that may move him from just hell nah you suck. There is at least some point.
Fair. He could have been worse.
He could have been doing it just for the money. I guess he wasn't.
Yeah.
Ren, what are your thoughts?
I think he pretty much sucks. While like capitalism also sucks, I don't see any way in which he's actually proving he would be better than capitalism on his own.
To what means are his ends justified? I wonder. I don't know. I think yeah. I still think he sucks though, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Anyway, this is Batty
Roy Batty from
Blade
Runner.
Yeah.
So his whole thing is him and I can't remember if the girl was his girlfriend or not, but his whole thing is that he was created as a combat droid and he has a sort of short shelf life, and all he wants is to be able to live, and he's going to die soon. And while he makes some questionable decisions on the way there,
Such as killing people.
technically, yes. Okay, he made some redundancies. I think the end goal of the androids being able to live longer rather than, I forget how many years. Like, I get it. And his whole thing about wanting to be able to pass something on and have children and stuff, like, I I get the underlying message that he was kind of going for, and I don't think he was that bad of a guy. He was ultimately bred to kill, so that was obviously he did that, but he didn't necessarily choose to. That's what he was sort of forced and created to do.
Notably, the end of Blade Runner is him saving our main character.
Yeah, he saves
following.
Deckard's life,
You know,
and he didn't have to.
he's out there like very questionable means, but he is trying to prove that robot lives are worth something. I don't know. Who has seen Blade Runner other than me and Pork Chop?
I've read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, if that counts. I don't remember much about this fella. I'm going to be honest with you. The movie was very different from the book.
Okay, well then that
So yeah,
is irrelevant.
it's loosely based on the book.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say this is a morally ambiguous character. Personally, I'd throw him in mid.
But fuck all synthetics.
Whoa.
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 No rights,
Who
no
the
rights,
fuck
no
off?
rights.
Go play Detroit, shithead.
Dude, I play Connor like he's a psychopath.
Sick.
You are a psychopath.
What you think, Pork Chopper? Where do you think he's going?
I would personally say more right than wrong.
Really?
I think his end goal was good, and I think his synthetic heart was probably in the right place. And I do think the androids, all of the different versions of androids, the different combat models and shit, kind of got the short end of the stick in that universe.
Truthfully, it's been a while since I've watched Blade Runner, so I feel like I'll take your word for it on this one.
Fair.
So we have Cruella DeVille.
Cruella DeVille.
which is written by
Look.
him.
Look.
What the?
You might.
Okay, that's
you might
so
say,
cropped out of like.
Yeah,
framed
But
it,
listen,
like,
guys.
that
Lost her
looks
head.
like the car from Who Framed Roger Rabbit getting a blowy.
What the fuck?
So hear me out. She may want to murder 101 puppies
But who
to make a
has
coat,
it?
but who hasn't? And also, like, she's just cold. She just wants a nice coat to keep her warm in the winter. Is that so much to ask when you really think about it? You know, she is completely justified, I think, in wanting to murder all those young puppies. I don't think that I think we really lost the plot at some point, labeling her as a villain. I think she's totally justified.
Fuck you. I think
She kills dogs.
She's
Right.
cold, they're cold. She's fixing both problems.
Yeah,
Let's be fair.
exactly.
she could make her jacket out of wool without killing sheep. She doesn't have to kill dogs.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be a Dalmatian jacket now, would it?
Yeah, Dalmatians are known for their really warm coats.
Right.
Bro, she's a piece of shit.
Devil is literally in her name.
Yeah, but have you
And
seen
cruel.
have you seen the Disney Cruella
I
movie?
don't care. That's not.
She got bullied by like an older fashion mogul, so
That
like
is
So
not-
kill dogs?
Yeah.
so kill
Listen,
dogs.
that is not canon. Okay, fuck
Oh,
that
it's
shit.
canon. They're
Yeah,
making Cruella.
But
too.
have you considered that she was sad one time?
Can we
Yeah,
get
she
a
was
kill the
sad,
dogs in
and you know
chat?
what?
Kill the dogs. Kill the dogs.
You know, I totally believe, you know, and not just playing devil's advocate like I might sound like I am.
DeVille's advocate.
Devil's advocate. You know, she should have murdered the 101 dogs. In fact,
Ren.
you know what?
Personally, with
You
the
know
knife.
what? She should have come back and gotten the 102nd one too.
Now hear me out.
Donkey Kong, the 102nd
How
banana.
reasonably a good life can those 101/102 Dalmatians have in a single house? A single, like, middle of Paris French house. Like, it's not enough space for them. You're doing them a favor.
Okay, PETA. Having a life is better than having no life because you're dead. What the fuck?
Yep. Peter's gonna have a goddamn field day with this one, boys.
This conversation's horrifying. I'm
Yeah,
skipping to the next
thank
fucking
you,
thing.
honestly. Okay, Shao Kahn is just a simple man. He wants to keep things interesting. He just wants to put together a fighting tournament. I don't understand why people are so mad with Shao Kahn. Yes, the stakes might be a little extreme. Yes, you know, he might be a little dangerous in his methods, but really, he just wants to entertain the people and keep people entertained. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
So I have a question because I don't know shit about Mortal Kombat lore. Like, are the people that join Mortal Kombat sent there against their will, or is it like you are entering into Mortal Kombat for like your own sport?
I believe the strongest beings of different worlds are brought together to
Okay.
fight for the sake of their world.
Okay, so
But yeah,
there's
when you really
the
get
most
down,
powerful people from each dimension are like summoned to do battle for the world. Is what I'm hearing.
pretty much, like,
Because Shao Kahn
worlds.
thinks that shit's sick.
well, he does. I believe, destroy any world that loses in Mortal Kombat.
I mean, that's pretty chill.
You know,
I will point out the one movie that he was in is literally one of the worst fucking movies of all time and
Oh.
probably the worst sequel ever made.
That's a good
It's actually used in film classes on how to not write a sequel.
Okay, but
That makes him pretty much irredeemable.
but this is about what they have done in their actual fictional universe, not the harm they've inflicted upon the real world.
And you personally.
and really, would you crucify an entertainer?
Yep.
Yes.
And we also have to consider that his boss fight is fucking bullshit.
Oh yeah, fuck that shit. All right,
Yeah.
this goes in shit tier. I would say sorry, but fuck you. All right, this is the torso of Maxi from Pokemon Ruby. His plan is simple: awaken a ancient primal Pokemon to cause a drought to create more landmass in a region that is full of fucking water routes. I hate Hoenn. I hate how much every time I want to go anywhere, I'm fucking beset by like a million different Magikarp and Goldeen and fucking Wailmer. Every time I want to go anywhere, I think Hoenn could use a little bit more land, boys.
I didn't think you worked for IGN.
7.8. Too much water.
Now, I should probably also put IGN on this list because that is actually a good. I think they have a good point. But anyway, point is, Hoenn, too much water. Just too much water. Creating more landmass, I think it's a good idea. I think he had a point.
It's a fucking island archipelago.
Yeah.
It won't be a fucking tropical paradise if Groudon has his way.
Long enough, the fucking tides will rise and it won't be a fucking island at all. It's all
Well-
going to be a fucking underwater.
Actually, see, the problem, one thing that definitely excludes him from the top is that he's just wrong.
Yes.
Because Groudon making everything warmer is just going to melt the ice caps faster.
Oh, yeah.
And there's going to be less land.
Listen, it backfires real fucking bad on him. But he tried.
While he might have the right idea, he's going about it as wrong as possible. And is going to result, you talk about killing 101 dogs. You're killing an entire ecosystem
101
of
Pochitas.
creatures
Yeah.
for the sake of
He didn't know that.
destroying the water and
No, he explicitly knew that.
You know what Maxie needs to do? He needs to move to like the center of a continent. Like Wichita, Kansas. He won't have a problem with too much water there. The problem is that he's living in fucking space Hawaii.
The issue is not that he can see the water. He wants more land. It doesn't matter if he was in a landlocked area. He would still want to increase the landmass everywhere else.
Nah.
At the very least, can we all agree that he was more morally justified than Archie?
Oh, yeah. No, he's better than Archie.
The
Archie's
guy
like,
that wants more fucking water.
he's like, I'm going to break the water cycle and flood the world.
Come on, guys. Atlantis, Cliff City.
I am willing to
Atlantis, Cliff City.
I am willing to put him in second lowest tier. Unless,
I think that's fair.
okay.
He does realize the error of his ways by the end.
Yes.
And he didn't
Yes.
kill any dogs. So.
Well,
He could have killed some
listen.
dogs.
let's be real here. Team Magma still does some shady shit en route. Like they do steal a bunch of shit to get to their goals. Like they're not nice people.
Yeah,
I just
still criminals.
I think he had a point. Is all I'm saying. Anyway, Magneto.
I think Magneto was in every timeline. He is absolutely correct. The problem with the humans is that you cannot have peace because no matter what, their fear of the mutants always ends up in the extinction of the mutants. And so his idea of fighting the humans and going to war, he was fully, absolutely justified because that would have been the only way for them to actually survive and to thrive.
I think Magneto's an interesting case because there are times he even works with the X-Men. His goal isn't so much evil, it's misguided. Because he believes that he's making the world better for mutant kind, and that's his main objective. Fuck everyone else.
I mean, to be fair,
or anyone that stands against him in that.
He's been through the
World War II.
Yeah, he's been through the Holocaust. He's been through World War II, and he's seen the absolute horror that humanity can kind of wreak on itself, right?
But
he's already been there.
But you would also think he would see the error of somebody saying, you know, this group of people is superior to any other group of people, and see that as an inherent
true. But I don't
falsity.
think he thinks necessarily that mutants are better than humans. It's more so that humans will murder them all.
I mean, I think he does think mutants are better than humans, depending on the writer.
Yes.
It's a definite.
That's fair.
That's a definite issue when talking about a comic book character. Is
Yeah.
they always have different writers. There's also the fact that you have to just remember that, you know, like, humans have a fear of mutants. Magneto destroys a lot of shit, which justifies a lot of that fear.
Yeah.
Like, he causes a lot of that fear. So he's kind of perpetuating his own problem a little bit.
Yeah, but it's just in pretty much every timeline, by the end, he is proven right that they're pretty much always almost extinct.
I think a lot of other cases, though, he's also proven wrong in that there is hope for mutants and humans to live together.
Mm-hmm. I'm willing to throw him in the middle because he is an interesting, nuanced character at the end of the day. Okay. This is Thanos.
Thanos.
Just listen. He went from planet to planet, killed half the population, bad. Every single time, it ended in prosperity. This happened every single time. He wins. He wins in the Infinity War. And what happens? The humans, our heroes, come back stronger and more prosperous at the end. Oh, okay, that's not true. Fucking Phase 4 has been really bad, and Phase 5 is really shit too. But like, he had a theory. It worked. Obviously, it is flawed because, you know, everyone talks about, like, how does the half work? Is it half of all life? Is it half of each species of life? It's not the best writing and a little ambiguous.
It's half of everything. It's half of the humans, half the dogs, half the cats, half the ficuses.
Oh, so he's basically Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
That's not true.
He definitely killed more than 101 Dalmatians. Let's be fair.
And he didn't even make a coat.
What the fuck?
To be fair,
And like
he
this,
would solve world hunger by removing half the population.
He had to give up the person he loved the most
He
in order
made a serious
to
sacrifice.
achieve his goals.
So here's the thing, though. Thanos basically has God mode on with the gauntlet. He can do anything he wants. He could literally make it so that no one ever gets hungry again. And instead, he opts to kill half of everyone because he's so short-sighted.
I would also point out it is a temporary solution, because if you kill half the human population, they will come back in breeding.
time,
Yeah, but then you just snap again.
He
Keep him in check,
he destroyed, like, the gauntlet and stuff. He was never intending to do it again. If we're going off of the MCU version of him, I don't know anything about the comic version.
all I know about the comic versions is
Actually, comic version is even worse. He just wants to kill people because he wants to fuck death or something.
okay, yeah. That's what Thanos would.
Another thing worth mentioning about comic Thanos is there's literally a guy who every year Thanos visits him on his birthday and ruins his life.
You know what? Maybe
That
Thanos
shit is
isn't-
fucking hilarious, and anyone who doesn't think that
Maybe
is
Thanos
wrong.
isn't that bad after all.
That's commitment to the bit, is what that is.
Dude,
But that
imagine
doesn't make him a
every
good
one of your
person.
birthdays, he just shows up
To fuck with you.
Yeah.
In some way. One point, he just, like, created a giant fuck off crater around his house. Happy birthday, asshole. What do you guys think? Where's Thanos going?
I think he sucks. Sorry.
I think he sucks.
I think his plan is short sighted and doesn't really
It's
work in the long
incredibly
run.
short-sighted.
I would put him in the second lowest because I think there is some benefit that comes from what he does, but he is ultimately still kind of evil.
I'm outvoted. This is
So this is Sheev Palpatine. Chancellor of the Galactic Republic. And
Just wanted to
he
focus on
did
that
nothing
drink.
wrong. All he wanted was peace and prosperity for the entire Republic. Didn't matter how he got there. He wanted peace and prosperity for everyone in the entire galaxy.
Yeah, but he cackles like the devil and shoots fucking lightning out of his hand.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I think that's propaganda. Sheev is a very loyal and respectful government official.
Right.
He
Yeah.
wants peace and prosperity, Kaz.
He has his apprentice kill the children.
No, that was his own choice.
And not even half the children either, might I add.
That's all the children.
All the younglings?
All the Jedi youngins.
Sheev didn't do that. Sheev didn't
He made-
kill
He
any
gave the
younglings.
fucking
Bro,
order to do that.
Basically,
Execute Order
like,
66.
the guy is Charles Manson of the Star Wars universe. It doesn't matter if he did it himself.
He massacred the Jedi.
No, those were the clones. The
He
clones killed the
ordered
Jedi.
the massacre.
Well, it's not his
He's, like,
fault
responsible
people were
for-
brainwashed.
This dude is
He
responsible
did the
for literally
brainwashing.
every fucking problem in the series.
Hey.
Both
Order
before and after.
67 would have killed Sheev if someone had told a clone to do it. Sheev did nothing wrong. Everyone knew the orders that the clones were programmed with, and no one had an issue with it. Sheev just wanted what was best for everybody.
Except the
Except
people that
for
are
the
dead.
people that got killed by
Yeah.
Sheev's
The
orders.
entire fucking planet.
It's really coincidental that what was best for everyone was really what was best for Sheev. You know, it's just
you
a
know,
coincidence.
all those people that died on Alderaan, like it was really just best for them
They
Well,
made
to just
Alderaan-
accept the big fuck off
Kaz.
laser.
Everyone on Alderaan was a known terrorist conspirator.
Right.
they made a giant weapon and called it the Death
Death
Star.
Star.
Also, didn't you argue like 10 minutes ago that terrorists are good?
That's true.
I did. But when the terrorists are space wizards, it's different.
I'm putting this here, and he's at the top of the list. This is now in, like,
That's right. He's worse than the person who
We're-
wants to kill dogs.
we're now like trying to find the worst of this.
Yeah, at least he only killed kids. He didn't kill dogs.
Ren, this is
W-
Am.
We're gonna do Am.
Yeah.
Okay, Am might be heavily misunderstood. He is a sentient supercomputer filled with nothing but vile hatred, stuck in programming for war and destruction. But is that really his fault?
He was made that way.
He was made that way. He doesn't deserve what happened to him. He doesn't deserve to be trapped in his complex, never to be able to leave or feel. And sure, he does take a couple prisoners, but he does make them immortal, which is the opposite of killing when you really think about it.
No.
I mean-
Torturing someone forever is not better than killing them.
But they're not gonna die. So they have really, if they have issues with the torture, that's a them problem when you get down to the nitty-gritty.
It is clearly.
I think a lot of people really misunderstand Am. He's I imagine he'd be a really nice guy if the circumstances were just a little different. He did also maybe genocide everyone else except for those couple people.
Including the Dalmatians.
But sacrifices had to be made. The humans were going to destroy the Earth one day. Am just sped things up a little bit.
So,
And really, that's like ending torture, really, when
so
you
you
think
said-
about it.
sacrifices had to be made. What sacrifice did they make?
I mean, his existence is sacrifice, really. He can never die, but he can never feel. He can never love. He can never have the things that make one human. But he didn't ask for that.
So you have a point in that there is a little bit of ambiguity in that he was made that way, but like that's still fucking awful.
And I mean,
I would
hold
point
on.
out that the 5 people that Am tortures for eternity did not create him.
Yeah.
It was like, those are just normal citizens.
yeah.
And I mean, when you get down to it, like, he likes his best friend so much that he made sure that he'll be with him forever at the end of the story. He made sure he can never get hurt again in a way that would result in his death.
Gentlemen, the second Rin put on this tone for this character, I knew it was going into the "yeah, nah, you suck," dude. But like,
Still less bad than Cruella de Vil.
All right.
Okay.
So this is Prince fucking Joffrey.
King Joffrey Baratheon. Okay, look. All he really did is he loved his people so much that he hatched a plan to unite the realm against one common evil that may have been himself. His plan was successful. Okay.
His plan fractured the seven kingdoms.
Yes,
And brought them
this
together
great-
stronger.
This beautiful subconscious plan that he hatched to make everyone hate him.
He was a very loving young boy that absolutely brought everyone together. It was like Christmas time with blood.
With all that said,
Yes,
he is just a kid.
Yeah,
exactly.
That would be, my argument is that he's still. How old is he supposed to? I forget.
12.
He's supposed to be. He's a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
I think he's. They probably aged him up a bit for the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can we really hold a 12-year-old
12-year-old.
responsible?
Yes.
That's no.
Not really.
You're not even a
You
person
can hold
yet.
you can hold a 12-year-old responsible for throwing a ball in a house and knocking over the lamp.
Yeah.
And to
Not for controlling a kingdom. He's a puppet. He's a figurehead. He's a bit of a jerk, but he could have grown out of that.
Yes.
But he
To
made
be-
all his horrible choices despite the wishes of the Queen Regent and the King's Hand.
To
you hold
be
his
fair-
upbringing and his fucking status responsible for that, not the kid.
To be
No,
fair,
the kid made the choices, Kaz. The
His-
Queen Regent
hold
didn't
on.
want it. The King's Hand didn't want it. He did it anyway.
They
To
should have
be
known it was
fair,
gonna fucking happen when they raised him to be a
his
fucking shithead.
stepdad died when he was young, and his dad / uncle. Okay, it was a weird situation growing up. Okay, it's not all his fault.
Like everyone knows, like you don't get like head problems after one generation of incest babies. It happens after like 6.
Everyone knows.
What?
Everyone knows that.
That's not a thing
They teach
people.
that in
What?
school, honestly.
Everyone knows.
I'm sorry. I can't put him in the same tier as fucking Sheev.
But can you put him in the same tier as Cruella de Vil?
no.
He killed more than 101 dogs.
He's a kid. I want to play that one clip where it's like, Jesse, can you stop being such a bitch? They're just kids.
He's not just a kid, though. He's a kid with supreme power.
Yeah, that was given to him. That was forced upon him.
Forced
Like
upon.
all
He was born
young
into it.
people that are thrown into the spotlight, he struggled, but he ultimately brought the realm together. Like I said,
I would say because he is a shithead. This is true.
Yes,
Like he is, but
undeniably.
he is a child that was raised really poorly.
Yeah.
That it would basically just go to morally ambiguous because
Yeah.
I don't think anything he's done would just get him in juvie.
But he disrespects women.
Okay.
He's a 12-year-old that was raised horribly. That's kind of the point of all this.
And was told that was shown that there are no consequences for doing terrible things
right?
because you're the
Basically-
prince / king.
Basically, in another timeline, he is the kid on Xbox Live that is calling you slurs when you beat him in Call of Duty.
Yeah, except for the difference is that kid gets a fucking reality check after the game when his mom starts yelling at him for calling me a shithead or something.
But
Joffrey
what
never
he
does.
fucking deserved. Kill the kids. Am I right,
yeah, I don't
boys?
know. It could have been a shit face. I agree. I think he's morally
A shit
ambiguous.
fa-
I
No.
think so. He is the Batman that they needed, not
And-
the Batman they wanted.
You know, he is in Batman Begins, actually. thing, but this is Emmett Selk from Final Fantasy XIV. Probably my favorite Final Fantasy villain. Essentially, long ass time ago, everyone was feeling really good. They had really good powers, and they lived in a near perfect society where nothing went wrong. And then something went really fucking wrong. And that perfect society where everyone had all these powers got split into 14 different worlds. Emmett Selk was one of the people that was not split, but everyone else's souls in this world was split into 14 different worlds. Emmett's whole goal is that if you basically destroy all these 14 individual worlds, all the souls from them will combine and his perfect world will come back. You will be rejoined into the person he knew you as. You're in the expansion you're in. You're in a world that is going to be destroyed, just due to a bunch of circumstances outside of your control. But you find a way to kind of stop that. And so Emmett Selk, he sees this. He wants to see if you have the power to stop this on your own. Instead of fucking with you, instead of trying to like stop you from continuing your thing and stopping you from saving the world, he wants to watch you and he wants to see what your party does and if you can overcome this on your own. At one point, one of your party members dies, and he just straight up brings them back as a show of good faith to see if you, as a 14th of a soul, are able to accomplish your goal. Inevitably, you just like shit goes wrong and it cannot happen. And that's when he steps in and is like, well, this world's fucked. It's time to fucking destroy it. Fuck you and your whole party. And that's when he becomes the villain again. But basically through it, he's like an omniscient watcher who's lived for thousands of millennia. When he thinks he knows better than you, he's lived for hundreds of thousands of generations before you. And you are like a nothing 1/14th of a soul to him. But he still wants to give you a chance. Inevitably, you do kill him through various means that are magic. But at the end of the day, he wants his perfect society back. He wants to see his bros again. And he wanted to give you a chance. And he was wrong, but he's an interesting villain. So
Yeah, well, a big thing by the end of that expansion where he's like really prominent in your fight against him, there's this feeling of like he knows that what he's doing is bad, but he feels he owes it to the people who sacrificed their lives, like in the ancient society, that he has to keep going. It's a bit of a sunk cost thing. And in his challenge to you is effectively a prove me wrong and stop me. Show me that this current world is worth keeping. Yeah. And he knows that he can't stop his current crusade. He's too far.
He's been here for thousands of millennia.
After,
and he's also killed a bunch of other worlds.
Yeah.
As well.
After you stop him and kill him, he still kind of comes back a few times in like little bits. But when he does that, he always helps you. He's not like bitter. He's like, okay, you did
won.
it.
Yeah.
Proven to me all this, and he just helps you at that point.
I really love this character. Again, as a person who's played all the Final Fantasy games, this is my favorite Final Fantasy villain. He is a joy to behold, and I really like him.
I've also played all the Final Fantasy games minus some.
No, same with me. Same with
Hey,
me.
same. I played all of them except for some.
So, everybody in the room who has played through Shadowbringers, how do we feel about Emmett Selk on this list?
I think he's a tragic villain in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I think, you get a lot of glimpses throughout the story of what he lost.
Yes.
And you gain a good understanding of why he is how he is. At the end of the day, he's not necessarily right. And to an extent, like you mentioned, I think he realizes that by the end. And it doesn't entirely justify, but that doesn't justify necessarily what he's done up to that point. Like, he's not actually the good guy.
That's nice. I would say throw him in the fucking gulag.
And I mean, when you think about it, these people that are like dying so that he can like rebuild the perfect world. One, they're not really dying; the souls are rejoining.
Yes.
So like they're not truly dead. And two, because they're not full souls, they're not like full people. It's like killing a puppy. It's not that bad.
What about killing like 52 puppies?
Well, this would be several million.
I don't know. Is that more than 101?
I think he had a point. He had a point, and he relents his point when he realizes that he's beat. I feel like he's here.
I don't think he's not more right than wrong.
He's more right than wrong.
No, because he
Oh.
was wrong ultimately.
He was
So
ultimately wrong.
maybe
He
next
was
to
ultimately
Joffrey.
wrong.
Yeah, he can be there with our king, Joffrey.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
Was he worse than Joffrey? See, Emmett Salk, even though he was like 100,000 years old, he's kind of like a child. So can we really like judge his decision? All right, so this is the iceberg from Titanic.
Yeah, this is the iceberg from the real life Titanic and the movie.
From the canon of real life.
From the canon of real life.
Okay.
I would love to hear how you justify this one.
Well, you see, there were a lot of capitalists on that boat, and they really needed to be shown off with his blood. You know where we would be without the iceberg from Titanic?
Enlighten me. Where would we be?
In a
We
world-
wouldn't be sitting here talking about the iceberg from Titanic.
I mean,
Sounds like a better world.
if you think about it, without the iceberg that sunk the Titanic, we wouldn't have the cinematic masterpiece that is the movie Titanic.
Oh,
True.
Exactly.
we also wouldn't have iceberg videos.
And we wouldn't have Titanic 2, the one where they tried to raise the Titanic.
I mean, to be fair, I think that's a bold strategy to advertise your ice bucket challenge.
Okay, a lot of people died. How are you getting past that one?
Well, you can't blame the ice for being there. So you can't say they're not a bad guy.
So you're arguing it was minding its own business?
I'm
and
gonna keep it a buck.
boat just
the
came out of
iceberg was
nowhere?
just sitting there. They drove into the iceberg.
I'm gonna keep it a $1.50 with you guys. I 100% agree with Sliver. This is
What?
This iceberg
just sitting
was
there.
attacked. Violently
People
attacked.
died.
It
Yeah.
sucks. But why is that
It's
the
like
iceberg's
saying,
fault?
oh no, I parked my car on the train
Listen,
tracks.
How the fuck is this the
Oh
iceberg's
no,
fault?
the train got derailed.
They
It's
Exactly.
the car's
What?
fault.
The fucking iceberg just came out of nowhere and they didn't see
The
it?
car was
Bro,
just sitting on the train tracks.
Okay. The fault for hitting the iceberg is
It's with
not
the
the iceberg's
navigators.
fault. It is the captain of the boat.
Exactly.
It is the Titanic's fault for running into it. So I would say now it's an iceberg, so it can't be the good guy.
No, it's a hero. It's a hero.
And it can't be more right than wrong. It is purely morally ambiguous because you can't actually apply morals to it.
It was
Think about-
just sitting there minding its own business,
Think
goddammit.
about all the people it brought together with the
On the
freezing
seafloor.
ocean. Yeah, this is middle of the list. Real
Why
talk.
is
This
rude?
iceberg did nothing wrong. though.
At
Absolutely
all.
not. They stuck their hand in the lion's mouth and they got bit. You don't attack a
Again,
fucking
again,
iceberg.
weird comparison, guys. I don't know why. It's like implying you went too close to the iceberg and bit the boat. No. Anyway, this is
So, Saren Arterius, I believe is his name. So, he is technically the sort of big bad of Mass Effect 1. But ultimately, what he's trying to do is he's working with the Reapers, which is a advanced civilization of these sort of sentient ships that come every 50,000 years and they wipe out all life in the universe.
For a really dumb reason.
Hold on.
Mass Effect.
But I'm not saying that the Reapers are correct. However, the reason Saren is working with them is he sees that every civilization that has tried to fight the Reapers has been entirely wiped out. And he understands that the only way for humanity to move forward and to survive is to be servants to the Reapers. Ultimately, he wants to save all of the races. He wants to save the universe. That's the only path forward that he sees. His methods may not be good ultimately.
And he's
But
inherently wrong.
I do think his heart was in the right place, and I understand from his perspective he was correct.
It's easy to be correct from your perspective when you're being like brainwashed by giant mechanical cuttlefish. Like that's the point of indoctrination, is they trick you into thinking you're doing the right thing when you're serving the Reapers. There was no chance they were going to let everyone truly live, and anyone who would live would just be turned into a collector.
Yeah.
So
Gonna keep it $1.50 with you. This guy seems like a fucking lapdog.
also he's a jerk to you at the beginning of the game, so put him in the bottom.
You know what? He has a point. He was a real jerk.
What's his opinion on dogs?
Fuck him.
I think ultimately he had his heart in the right place. Just his methods were not quite good.
I think he was wrong and dumb, but I also haven't played all of Mass Effect.
You should play all of Mass Effect. It's
But I
a
know
great
he was
fucking
wrong.
game.
Like,
He is
inherently he was just wrong.
In the end, he is wrong, yeah, because you can't actually fight the. Well,
Everyone who's played Mass Effect, how do we feel? Where's he going?
Fuck Saren. Put him at the bottom.
Shit tier.
Bottom
Fuck
tier.
that guy.
I would agree with that.
I would disagree, but
But he is still not as bad as Cruella de Vil.
No, but he's worse than Sheev.
Correct. He's worse than Sheev.
Senator Armstrong is a man on a mission. He wants to become president.
I hear he's American.
He's very American. He wants to end war as a business. He wants to end the internet media bullshit. I quote, he wants to make America a land of the truly free, damn it, a nation of action and not words.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
He doesn't like limp dick lawyers or chicken shit bureaucrats. He doesn't like internet spew. He is a man of the people, just looking out for the people, to let the strong be strong. I think Armstrong is absolutely 100% the good guy.
So why is Raiden trying to stop him?
Okay, so
Nanomachine son.
I would point out the big thing at the end of your statement is he wants to let the strong be strong, right? But he fucking died, so he's not strong.
It's true.
He's weak. His philosophy is broken
Yeah.
and wrong, and he deserves to be at the bottom.
Might makes
You
right.
don't- you
Doesn't
don't-
work when you suck ass.
You don't understand, because I lose every time to Armstrong on purpose, so that's my canon.
No.
So why does Raiden want to stop him? Who here is like knows and has played through Revengeance?
Oh, Armstrong just does a whole bunch of like
Shady
shady things.
shit.
He's kidnapping children, cutting their brains out, putting them into robots,
Oh,
and then
fuck.
giving them like military programming to turn them into just literal child soldiers.
Were they illegal immigrants?
No, not really.
Okay, never mind.
You can't make an omelet without cracking a few
Yeah,
eggs.
exactly.
You know what? He's
making the mother of all omelets.
I know that he's using war as a business to end war as a business. I played the fucking game. And I also know that he's batshit insane.
but he's also releasing these children from their flesh prisons and putting them into immortal robot bodies. And
I'm
like,
gonna-
what's so wrong with that?
Homie, I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with you. I feel like this is an echo fighter for Donald Trump.
And look, no, God no. Armstrong's way better.
Yeah, he played
Armstrong-
college
Everything-
ball.
Everything you said in your opening statement sounds like part of a Trump speech.
what is incredible is this is obviously way before Trump was president.
Armstrong,
Prophetic.
like when he's fighting Raiden, he's trying. Like the second Raiden sounds like he might be understanding what he's saying. He picks them up, he dusts them off, and he wants to shake his hand and bring him in for a hug.
Yeah, because he wanted
He's-
a lapdog. He wanted a fucking
No, he wanted a
little cup.
friend.
a submissive, sissified, bimbified little slut with a sword to help him out. Fuck that.
He just wanted a pal.
He's a dictator.
No.
No.
But I still don't like Cruella de Vil because she kills dogs. No.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, where's Senator Armstrong going?
He's
You're
obviously
actually
the
the
good
good
guy. Senator Armstrong, like he's top.
He's a piece of
No,
shit.
he absolutely goes on the bottom.
Does everyone outvote him? Like the votes?
He's
Well,
going on
okay,
the
all
bottom.
right.
Nano machine, son.
3-2. He's shit. Fuck off.
Wow,
with
you
your
didn't
meme.
even put him through the middle.
Oh yeah. I guess he's more morally justified than I am.
No. That would put him further to the right.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce this villain's name.
How do you not know how to pronounce the most justified villain in history's name? Her name is Yzma, and she was the king's hand in Incaland or wherever the fuck Cusco.
How do you
is.
not know how to pronounce Incaland?
No,
You mean Cusco land?
yeah, Cusco land. Now Cusco's a piece of shit. Everyone already knows that. Cusco is the villain of those movies. He wanted to crash a poor family's home, and no one wants that. And Yzma knew what was up. Yzma's like, Cusco is a bad leader. Cusco is gonna run our nation into the ground. Fuck Cusco. You know what? Let's kill Cusco. Overthrow the monarchy. Fuck the monarchy. Am I right, boys?
But she was going to impose herself as the new ruler.
Yeah.
She was, because she's in that position. Cusco has no other familial ties.
But she's not trying to stop the monarchy. She wants to be the monarchy.
Yeah, but Cusco is bad.
Also,
Cusco is not a good leader.
I will point out that I believe there is a line in the movie where she says, I practically raised him myself. So if Cusco's a bad person, it's because of her. And the instant that Cusco leaves the palace and has to deal with some hardship, he improves as a person. Something that Yzma would never do.
Damn.
You
Bro.
might have a point there.
I do have a point
But
there.
like, name something truly evil and bad.
She
that
literally
did.
has an evil lair and tried to poison Cusco and kill him.
Hasn't everyone tried to poison somebody?
No.
No.
I'm never. having
Doesn't
to cook ever
everybody
again.
have an evil lair? It has a fucking roller coaster in it. How evil can she be? She has a roller coaster in her lair. And roller coasters are cool. And she's a hot daddy DILF assistant.
I mean, at least she didn't kill dogs.
Yeah, she doesn't kill dogs. She tried to kill a llama, but the llama was gonna run the country. And who wants a llama to run the country? Fucking idiots, that's
Look,
who.
if a dog can play basketball, a llama can run the country. You know what I'm saying?
I stand with the llama.
Fucking kill the llama. Piece of shit. Fucking ruler.
Yeah, nah, she sucks.
Yeah, she sucks.
But she didn't do anything wrong.
She did plenty wrong.
She literally
Plenty
did
wrong.
less than everybody else here. She's the... Well, except the iceberg. The iceberg is... everyone else.
So
She tries to
the
kill
biggest-
one person.
the biggest problem with judging her on what she did was that she does not actually rule the country long enough for us to see how
Yeah.
bad she would be.
It's true.
But we can presume she wouldn't be very good.
She probably would have fed her fucking subjects, unlike Cusco, who fucking hoarded it for himself.
Again, she raised him. So who's
She-
to say, like, she wouldn't
Maybe
have the
that's
same
how he
fucking
was. That's
morals?
what she did with him.
Maybe Cusco's hungry. Did you think of that?
If he's hungry, you're hungry.
So when we think about it,
Let him eat.
Cusco's just Joffrey. If Joffrey got to live, he would have had a wonderful magical experience and become a better person.
That's
Move
true.
Joffrey up the
Up we
list.
go. Up we go. Okay. So these are the Yerks from Animorphs.
I was
Yerks?
wondering what that was
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yerks are a parasitic alien that they crawl into your ear, they take over your brain, and they can just control you, and you can't do anything about it. Full access to your memory, so they can mimic you completely. And at the start of the series, when our main characters find out about them, they've like basically almost completely already taken over Earth and integrated into society. There are just a bunch of Yerks that are just like fuck these stupid humans, kill them all. We're the supremacists. We're awesome. The question I want to pose to this group is, if you are a being that is intelligent enough to like have thoughts, but you have a shit slug body, but you can control other people, like other species, by being a parasite in their brain, what's the line of morality there? Like, at what point are you a piece of shit for like doing something that you are biologically able to do?
Taking over something with sentience.
Yeah, you're removing something else's
Yeah,
agency for your own sake.
The problem
Yeah.
is they can't really take over non-sentient things. The brain needs to be developed enough for them to actually like use. It's
Mhm.
it's a thing in the story probably to make it so that
That
question.
dream scenario could not happen.
yeah. So there is like this is actually like posed in one of the books is that like a Yerk basically tells one of the main characters like you want to condemn me into being a slug forever.
Yes.
So, but you're saying that from a position of being human. So they basically challenge this person to purposely trap themselves as a caterpillar, which is a similar quality of life as the Yerk. And that person does it. They purposely permanently become a caterpillar to prove a moral point, which is an interesting book. I still hate Cassie. There's a cop out at the end. Let's her return to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one thing, the problem is you brought a species, not a character. If you just brought Visor 3, he goes right to the top.
Yeah, I know.
Visor 3 did nothing wrong.
Correct. I did bring a species, not a character.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, there is a bit of, because there are Yerks that do like kind of oppose it, and it is technically, we know it's technically possible to create a synthetic body that they can control, but they don't know that. That's just some other thing that happens in the series, but most of them don't know that. Basically, it's the Andalite's fault because
We're getting too far.
No, they
I didn't want to crack open all of Animorph's lore here. I just Pork Chopper, how do you feel about little slugs that can take over bodies?
Not good. Don't like it.
I mean, obviously you would not want to be controlled by a Yerk. I don't know.
They fucking suck, man.
Yeah, no.
But are they worse than somebody that kills dogs?
No.
No.
Well, what
They
if they
would
took
just-
Oh, wait,
over
what
a
would you
dog?
control?
They
Control
would
the dog.
control
I
the
messed
dog,
up.
but the dog would still be alive.
Well, the dog probably doesn't have enough sentience.
Is losing control of your agency
What the fuck are you trying
for
to
the
say,
sake of
Dr.
a
Stupid?
slug worse than dying?
I don't think the Yerk could
Is
take
the
control of the
question.
dog.
Wait, sorry.
Because,
Well,
like,
that's kind of
you-
an interesting answer to that.
I feel like
there
that's
are people
worse
whose
than death.
there are people who in this series are just like their life is fucked.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they like willingly give themselves up to be controlled by slugs so that they can live a better life than them.
Well, actually, a more interesting point is there is a character at one point through the books that basically lives in symbiosis with
Yes.
this Yerk.
Yes.
They are friends and they share the body, which is weird.
I
but
don't want
they
a
can
friend
happen.
in me right now.
Oh, there's gonna be. You're getting infested first.
The species
That's
can
fair. So
evolve at
second
some
from the
point.
bottom. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, group vote. I'm gonna say me and nameless guest are asking for second from the bottom.
I'll
Anyone
give it
else?
second from the
I
bottom.
would say that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know shit about this
Oh,
character.
Dagoth
Yeah,
who is well established as doing nothing wrong. So
it's a really good way to start your statement, actually.
So Dagoth is considered the mad god. He is sort of the manifestation of the original Dagoth coming from a giant heart in the, I believe it's Red Mountains. He, in his original incarnation, was betrayed. He was murdered by his closest peers, and basically everyone who betrayed him went and gained a whole bunch of crazy power that they promised never to abuse, and they did abuse it. Dagoth returns. He does spread a bit of a sort of zombie virus plague through the land a little bit that's slowly infesting the residents. But he is just trying to regain his power. And can you really blame him? You know, he was betrayed. He was turned against. And as soon as his friend, the Nerevar, who's been reincarnated as a protagonist of Morrowind, comes, he's excited. He is happy to see his friend again. He wants to spend time with his friend and share in victory with his friend again. And in turn, you betray him again. And even as you're betraying him, he is begging you to help him and to lay down your weapon because you are his friend and he believes in you and he wants you to be better than you're being.
Why did they kill Dagothr in the first place?
They actually betrayed him.
Oh, okay.
Like this is actually like he did go mad from the betrayal and stuff, but like, you know, basically there was a disagreement on using very powerful items and artifacts, and they betrayed him to be able to use those for themselves and gain power from the heart.
How much is the zombie virus fucking up everything?
It's a bit of a big problem, you know. Basically slowly creeping into the minds of the nationalists and stuff. Dagothr might have also potentially been why the Dwemer aren't around anymore, but it's never been confirmed, so you can't really blame him for that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, but does he turn people into soul
really-
gems and then use them to power his like?
No, he just turns them
Cutlery.
into weird, like, you know, eldritch abominations through Corpus. And, you know, is that really a bad thing? You become a sick-ass eldritch abomination.
Tentacle beard.
Bro, he looks like
Yeah,
a fucking
Yeah.
he looks like a fucking Majora's Mask like sub boss.
It's like you exit the room with the big frog on the
Yeah.
turtle. It's like, oh shit,
You're
here's
fighting
Dagon.
Dagothr. Fucking reincarnate asshole.
But the one thing you guys are forgetting is his memes are very funny.
His memes are very funny.
How funny are we talking about here?
Oh, you've never heard the freaking AI generated Dagothr meme
No.
where he talks about like random issues that are bothering him or about anime.
I guess like I know what I'm doing after this.
I don't know shit about this character. I feel like he's a little worse than however you fucking
Look,
explained him.
he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah,
He is-
that's how
he
you
is-
know he's in shit
He
tier.
is responding how anyone would to betrayal by remanifesting himself through a giant heart and spreading illness through the land. I mean,
What's his end goal here? You know,
Like, is it
But
full
from
salt
coming-
the earth?
is he just trying to become powerful again?
he wants to regain his power. He wants to
Okay.
achieve godhood and bring the land of Morrowind back to how it should be.
I don't know.
He wants to make Morrowind great again.
He seems very selfish, to be quite honest with you. And you're telling me he's like doing all these terrible things to these zombie virus, whatever the fuck, as a result of his actions. He seems like kind of a dickhead. I'll be honest.
But I mean, like,
I'd
can
shoot
you-
him with the slingshot 7 times.
Can you really
Stop.
necessarily blame him? I mean, he was betrayed by his closest allies. Can you blame a guy for feeling like he should be a little bit selfish in the face of this betrayal that he
Yeah,
faced?
but did the people infected by the zombie virus betray him?
Yeah.
Because they
Fuck
seem
did
like
they do?
maybe descendants of the people who betrayed him, not the
really,
people themselves.
it's more like he's blessing them at the end of the day.
Feels like some misguided anger and revenge to me.
Never mind. This sounds very based in Nurgle pilled, actually. All right. How do we feel about this guy, everybody? Because I'm willing to throw him in shithouse tier.
Well, he's not the worst, but he's not better than the iceberg.
I think he's actually the good guy. I think Dagothr is absolutely the hero
That Morrowind deserves.
that Morrowind needed.
I'm willing to put him in second lowest.
What's his point?
You know what? He might be more right than wrong. I'd be comfortable with that.
What?
Look, if he wasn't betrayed, none of this would have happened.
Ren has a point, guys.
His point is he's angry, I guess, and he wants power. Nah, he seems like kind of a shithead. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe second from the bottom.
He got, but like 2 wrongs don't make a right, you know?
What are you thinking, nameless guest?
I think he's really funny, so he should definitely go at the top. Of
There we go. Dagoth up.
Well, how many votes do we get?
He just wanted to undo the injustices that were done to him. I think he should be pretty high up there.
He has to be pretty high up there.
Just put him at the bottom. Fuck that guy.
Fuck you guys.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
sorry.
That ain't democracy.
Sorry. There we go.
Are you fucking serious right now?
What? Me, nameless guest,
Yeah.
pork chopper all said he
Yeah.
was shit.
No, the nameless guest said he was great.
As
As a joke. All right, so let's get to brass tacks here. Fuck did Sid do wrong?
Absolutely nothing.
He was a kid who had a little bit of a creative streak and combined toys.
He was kit bashing his action figures.
Exactly.
He was
Okay.
destroying them and stealing other people's toys to destroy.
Okay, one.
He was borrowing his sister's
We
toys.
only see him destroy one other person's toys, and that's his sister's. Buzz and Woody, he got from a claw machine. He did not know they belonged to anyone else.
Yep.
Now, it is wrong of him to take his sister's toys and, like, you know, take them apart and stuff. That is true. But he is still a kid. So, you know, I would say he's not the good guy because he doesn't really do
Yeah.
anything good, but he's more right than wrong
Yeah.
because he's just a kid.
Yeah, he didn't know the toys
It
could
sounds-
like move.
It sounds to me like he's got a bit of a creative streak in him, and I think due to the events of Toy Story, he is ultimately going to be traumatized going into his later years.
Yeah.
Good.
Buzz and Woody might have made a monster at the end of this fucking.
He already
movie.
was a monster.
Fuck you.
Actually, I believe he's pretty well adjusted in the third film. He's
Oh.
the
Yeah, he's
Oh,
just a
okay.
garbage man.
he's the garbage man at the beginning. He's like wearing the same shirt.
Oh, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
You know
What's
how
nothing wrong
much
with
money
that?
garbage men make? A fucking lot of money.
Good for him. I'm glad.
He's doing good. He did good with his life.
Great.
But he still stole from his sister.
Fuck you. He's a kid.
That's pretty minor in the grand scheme of things.
Anyway.
Now riddle me this, Rin.
Is it worse than killing dogs?
Yeah.
I think it is, personally.
Second highest tier.
I think he's worse than an iceberg.
I think that's fair.
All right. I think first of all this
Fuck, don't even.
because I
fucking-
want them to be looking at each other,
Oh my.
but also he's more morally justified. Come on. All right. So this is Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, this is Sauron from Tolkien's Legendarium. And Sauron, he may have had some poor motives at points, just due to the fuckery of the Ainu. But he just wanted to sing his own song with his boss Melkor. And what's wrong with that? Like they're the songs of Arda. You need to shape the earth with the music you play. And Eru was just pissed that Sauron's singing like the can while Eru is singing fucking
Sweet Caroline.
yeah, there we go. He didn't want to go bum bum bum. He's like, no, I'm not having that. I'm not having any of that. I want to play my own music. So he did that, and everyone got mad. And then someone stole his jewelry, and all he wants is to get his fucking jewelry back. He wants his jewelry back so he can sing again. Because after his jewelry got cut off, he wasn't able to sing because he lost his body.
So here's the thing. If you're in a band and everyone's playing the intro to, I don't know, like freaking Sweet Caroline, and you freaking start doing the can, you know what? That band is perfectly justified in being a little bit upset with you.
Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
right to be upset with you, but when half the band decides, hey, I kind of want to play the can too, but then like the guy who says he's the leader of the band says, you know what? No, I also don't want you to play the can, and then more people start playing the can, and then the can drives out the Sweet Caroline, so they have to play a new song like Margaritaville instead, and no one wants to play Margaritaville, then like Sauron's trying to play a different song.
So it sounds
What
like,
the
it sounds
No,
like
this
Sauron
is
the
lore,
pro-
Kaz. This is
Sauron
literally
is
lore.
the problem
Strangest
causer.
anecdote I've ever fucking heard in my
Kaz,
entire
this
life.
is literally the lore of the Legendarium.
Sauron is the problem causer.
He is
He
a
is
shit
the one.
disturber.
He is shit disturbing. It is totally his fault that everyone else is trying to play different shit instead of harmony.
Okay.
Well, it's
but-
actually Melkor's fault, but
Yeah, okay. But let's if he and Melkor, you know, they wanted to play a different song, so they effectively left the band and just wanted some gig space. You know? They just wanted a song in the playlist.
exactly. But like Eru was like, oh, there can only be one song because there's only one Arda.
There's only one band in this town. No, you can't.
It's run by Eru. Eru's the leader of the band. So,
I'm the only one allowed to sing at open mic night. Fuck you.
and how would you feel, Kaz?
Bro, I have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
If you
We
go
are
to- if you
literally
go to-
talking
Are
about
we
lore.
still talking about
Yes.
a fucking
If you go to
floating
a concert-
evil eye in the
if you go-
sky?
If you
You
go-
know that's just a depiction of him, so like people could understand.
Yeah, that's not
him,
actually in
right?
the books,
It's
Kaz.
not the way he is.
If you go to a concert and you bring a guitar with you and you start playing while the band is playing, people are going to be pretty pissed.
Yeah.
They would, but what if
Yes.
half the people at the concert decide they want to listen to you play the guitar
You
instead?
Then
still
they're fucking
cause a huge
stupid.
goddamn problem.
You did for
Yeah,
the
but-
band.
But what if you went through the proper channels to, get to be an act in the concert, and the big asshole that was in charge of your old band said, "Nah, this is only mine," despite the fact that there's room for everyone.
Exactly.
This is a plot of an early 2000s straight to DVD movie, and I'm sure of that.
I'm dead ass with you. This is the plot of the Lord of the Rings,
I don't understand.
Yeah.
and all he wanted was his jewelry back. And is it that bad that he wants his jewelry back so he can have physical form again?
So does he create like orcs?
No, that was actually his boss Melkor that created orcs. So what Melkor did was he sung his sweet, sweet Caroline, and then like some of the elves came over and they're like, you know what? I like Sweet Caroline. I'm gonna.
Yeah, he was singing the can.
I'm sorry.
You're mixing up.
I'm sorry. Melkor was singing the can, right? Can he do that? Can.
I know the fucking song.
And then the elves came over and were like, oh. My elf eyes see that the can is pretty good. And then over time, like the elves became corrupted with the can and they didn't care about Sweet Caroline anymore. They only cared about the can, and that's how orcs were made.
Okay.
How did we
Put him on the bottom.
Yeah,
No.
I'm just
Put him on
gonna.
the bottom.
Sauron did
Allow
nothing
me,
wrong.
allow me to just
He
say.
wanted his
allow-
jewelry back.
Allow me to just say that you guys had problems with Dagoth corrupting people.
Hey,
over time.
Ren, I was on your side with Dagoth.
Anything that touches that fucking ring is inevitably like having a bad time.
Yeah.
You're telling me that influence
Are
is
you
from a
telling me
totally
that the-
reasonable place?
Are you telling me that the can is not a good time?
It kind of feels like, I don't know, he's real fucking evil.
He's
Hey,
not
To
that
his
bad.
core.
I just want to point out that bad things happen to people who have the ring, because they're not him.
Yes.
Bad things don't happen to him when he has the ring because it's his ring.
People stole his jewelry.
Yeah, it's wearing
bad karma.
it's wearing some stolen shit, and the ring has a mind of its own. So it's like, yeah, I don't like the fact that you're wearing me stolen, and it just wants to get back to his master.
That's
Come
all
on,
the ring
buddy.
wanted to do for
But
over
he made
3,000
it
years.
he made it in secret so that he could control the other races.
But he only did that so everyone would be singing the can with him.
That's not a good thing.
Everyone needs to sing the can.
No, they don't.
Eru is a dictator, a real piece of shit.
Sauron
The
is a
only
piece
way
of
that
shit.
the Dagoth is gonna happen if people start singing the can more. Because
So-
the world gets reborn.
I'm gonna
No.
keep it $1.50 with everybody. I feel like we're outvoted for people that want to throw this on "Nah, you suck" because it's me, Pork, and Rin. But I also feel like Sliver is so passionate about this that I almost feel the need to throw it in the mid tier
The slip
because
is wrong.
I haven't fucking read the Cecil Marillion or whatever the fuck shitty books. these
Bro,
are called.
He's fucking evil.
He's not that bad.
I have been giving passionate speeches for my cause this entire video.
Yeah, but
and
you
all
weren't
my characters are in bottom tier.
But you weren't yelling.
And you didn't come up with the most strained metaphor you
Yeah.
could possibly come up with.
He's evil. He goes on the bottom.
He's
Real
not
shit.
bad.
Worse
No,
than
he's not bad.
Am?
He's evil.
Worse than Am? Better than Am? I don't even fucking know.
Yeah, he's worse than. He's probably worse than Saren.
Just wanted his fucking jewelry
There you
back.
go, Ren. There's your dub.
there we go. Yeah.
He's not as bad as Dago.
or Gorilla DeVille.
Okay, so this is Ozymandias.
Okay.
And do we have to make an argument for him? He really was the good guy all along.
So
That's a tough
Ozymandias.
one.
That's a
Okay,
tough-
so here's the thing.
Okay.
So this is Ozymandias from The Watchmen.
Watchmen.
In the movie, he basically his whole thing is he frames Dr. Manhattan, but in the graphic novel, he basically stages like an alien attack, and he brings the entire world together. He actually unites people, and it works. His entire plan, like, yeah, people do die. It is fucked up, but in the end, humanity actually will prosper because of him. He actually does something good by doing something really fucked up. He is not necessarily a good guy, but he did achieve something good.
Yeah, the ends don't justify the means, I think. Like, yes, the world was on the brink of nuclear war and all of that, I understand.
Yeah.
However, he does kill many people in very major cities around the world, to my recollection.
Excuse
He
me, the
does.
giant squids kill people around the
He
world.
is responsible for it.
No,
And
the
at the end
giant
of
the,
the
the
day-
giant squids were
The thing
they were
is,
responsible for their own.
Had he
actions.
not done that and had the nuclear war broken out, more people would have died than died during his attacks.
I mean, at the end of the day, is this not just like a temporary like band-aid fix though? I know it was a big plan for an immediate issue, but I feel like due to human nature, how could this not be a problem down the line?
I
don't
mean,
know.
he basically unites everyone on Earth against an extraterrestrial threat. So most of the conflict on Earth would probably cease because they realize that there are bigger problems outside of their world. Right?
I could see
They're
this
less
also.
focused on their own.
This could also cause problems long term in that, like,
Yeah.
if extraterrestrials were ever to come to Earth, or they would rush to get to space to try and take out
Mm-hmm.
the evil at its source that never existed in the first place.
All right, so let's
Also,
let's
I
not
would-
get ahead of ourselves.
I
okay?
would point out, even if everyone like joined together, all it takes is one really powerful country electing a really stupid person who then goes and destroys all their relationships to ruin everything.
Huh.
True.
Oh, that's
It's not future proof.
Man,
His
that's-
plan isn't future
That's
proof.
some really good fiction you're thinking of there.
I'm so glad that would never happen in real life.
Yeah.
I'm willing to throw him in.
No, man, he's
Yeah, he's-
actually
I
a
would
good
say
guy.
moral ambiguity, but I don't know.
I
I don't know where I'd land on this, to be honest
I
with you guys.
do think he's more right than wrong because in the end he saved lives and he brought world peace.
Hmm.
It's just the trolley car problem. Like, come on.
You know what? I'm with the pork chopper here. He is definitely more right than wrong.
I'm going to vote for moral ambiguity equilibrium because I do think this is going to be an issue long term.
Yeah, I'm voting moral ambiguity equilibrium. I think that the ends don't justify the means.
Sure. Yeah. Put it in the middle. It's fine.
Okay. That's fair.
And
but
there
he-
you have it.
But he was definitely more right than Magneto.
And there you have it. This is the official list.
He was also more right than the iceberg.
No one's the good
Thank
guy.
God nobody's the good guy at the end of this.
Yeah, somehow
But it's been fun.
we haven't put a single guy in the good guy tier.
Why was Griffith not
so,
on this list? We know he
realistically-
did nothing wrong.
I don't want to get into that.
I just want to point out the only reason the iceberg is not listed as a good guy is because you said they're not a person.
Yeah.
That is the real hero of this story.
So if this tier was called "Actually Did Nothing Wrong,"
A few notches.
There, all is right in the
world.
Mm,
He
There
still,
you
he
go,
still
sir.
stole from
Still
his
stole
sister.
from his sister.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
no.
Cruella DeVille.
AM was programmed, so they didn't
Yeah.
really do anything wrong because they didn't really have a choice.
He was just
Shut
following
the
his
fuck
programming.
Does that mean the Yeerks did nothing wrong?
No.
Because it's in their nature.
No, whoa! How did you fucking
They-
flip to the
they-
opposite of this?
The Yeerks are sentient; they can still make choices.
Yeah.
Really, when you think about it, did any of these villains do anything wrong at the end of the day?
I mean, they're all fictitious, so nothing wrong really happened.
I don't know. The
So-
iceberg's real.
Very real.
I don't believe in icebergs, and in a few years, no one will.
See you later, everybody.